I think that God is everything. God is everything.
Namaste, World Raisers. Sabine and Roger here. Let's watch What is God by the great Thich Nhat Hanh. We are quite familiar with his teachings. We've listened to him. I've actually seen him live in Germany in 2012. And we've been to Plum Village just for a day visit, which was very beautiful.
Yeah, so this is the very first time we are watching him on our channel, and we have never ever heard him talk about God. So let's get right into it.
What is hope? What is God?
It's a bunch of kids. Awesome.
Difficult question. But I will try.
Oh, wow.
I think that God is everything. God is everything. And certainly God is not an idea or a notion. God is very real. And you can get in touch with God if you are mindful, concentrated, and insightful. When you come to Plum Village as a practitioner of meditation, you cultivate the energy of mindfulness, concentration, and insight. And if you have these three energies, surely you can get in touch with God. Right in Plum Village. When you go home, you continue to get in touch with God. You know that when you stop thinking, when you breathe in mindfully and enjoy breathing in, you can already get in touch with God. Because when you breathe in like that, you enjoy breathing in, and you find out that breathing in is wonderful. As I breathe in, I know that I am alive. And to be alive is a wonderful thing. And as I breathe in, I become very alive. I see my body and my mind are wonderful. And I can get in touch with the sunshine, with the hills, with the sunflowers, with the water running from the water tap. And there are so many wonders of life in me and around me. And when I do walking meditation, I recognize that the path leading uphill to the wood is filled of wonders. The grass, the tiny flowers, the insect, the sunshine, everything is a wonder. A pebble, a leaf, a flower, a butterfly, everything is a wonder. And I can see God in everything. You can see God in a pebble, in a piece of dust, in a butterfly, in a sunflower. You can see God in the other fellow. And if you see God like that, you are a happy person. You do not want to do any harm to yourself. And you do not want to do any harm to the other people. Even if they are violent, even if they suffer. They suffer because they have not been able to be in touch with God. But if they practice mindfulness, concentration, and insight, if they are mindful, concentrated, and insightful, they have a chance to realize that they are in the kingdom of God. We are really in the kingdom of God. And when we do walking meditation, we walk in the kingdom of God. If you do walking meditation correctly, you see that you are walking in the kingdom of God. And if the kingdom is there, God is there also. So you can get in touch with God and the kingdom of God with every breath and every step. And that is what I do during walking meditation. And there are monks, nuns, and lay practitioners who are able to do so. Enjoy the kingdom of God. It means to enjoy God. So to me, God is not an abstract idea, but something very real that you can encounter in every moment of your daily life. Your body belongs to the kingdom of God. Your mind also. That flower, that stream of water, that tree, they all belong to the kingdom of God. And it's too bad if we are caught in our anger, in our fear, in our jealousy, that we cannot get in touch with the kingdom of God. And if we don't know how to get in touch with the kingdom of God and with God, and then our life will we waste our life. So in Brahma village, we learn to walk in such a way, to sit in such a way, to eat in such a way, to take a shower in such a way that we can get in touch with the wonders of life that belong to the kingdom of God. And I will tell you, everything belongs to the kingdom of God, including this lotus flower, including this little boy. And we should continue to learn in order to understand this more deeply. Thank you.
No, maybe not. Oh. Oh. What to say?
Wonderful.
Teaching to children. This was our first talk we listened to where someone was teaching children in such a beautiful and simple way. And yet so deep and so touching.
Yeah, everything is God. And there's some real truth to that. Everything is the manifestation of one source, right? So one in reality. Yeah, wonderful. And I remember when we were at Plum Village, we just went for the day, just there for a few hours. But I remember we practiced, like we did walking meditation. We all split up. There was 3 of us. Yeah, I remember walking the paths and the trails, beautiful, right? And then just the atmosphere and the environment, yeah, very conducive to that sort of practice. meditative state, and every so often a little bell goes off.
Little through the whole monastery.
Yeah, so you hear it everywhere, and then that's a sign, to take a moment and practice mindfulness, right? And we sat in their gompa for a little bit. We were the only ones in there at that time, and got to experience that. So fantastic. And just his teachings and the wisdom of mindfulness, concentration, and insight. So, being able to get into that state and observe the mind, beyond the thinker and the thinking thoughts, and being mindful and present and aware, with everything. And Thich Nhat Hanh is a very big proponent of, mindfully walking meditation, and then being one with the environment and the trees and the rocks and the stream. Yeah, it's all divine, right? And then, I love how the kingdom of heaven, right? So very Christian biblical teaching there, but understanding that, that's applicable to everybody when you get into those higher states of concentration and awareness and insight, where you realize that, this is the whole spectrum. Yeah, some people call this a hell realm because there's so much suffering, but other people will experience that as a heavenly realm because they're in a higher state of concentration. So we all have access to the kingdom of heaven and God.
What I loved most was when he said, God is not an abstract idea to me, but something very real that can be experienced. And I love that because, often people, we put such a huge, we make it so abstract and so complicated in a way, and so, I don't know, unreachable. It's like such a big thing to become a Buddha. And yes, it is on the one hand, but on the other hand, it's our potential. So it is reachable, and if we see it as a potentiality that everyone has, and we put in the work, and then it doesn't have to be complicated and abstract, and can be realized very beautifully, and even in the most simplest practices. At least we get tastes of it, and then it can be more elaborate, whatever the practitioner needs. But I never understood his teachings like I just did now, because I had so many teachings and so many experiences over the last months, and now listening to him again after a long time puts a very different spin on everything that he says. It's very deep, very beautiful.
Yeah, and I like how, not an abstract idea, because there's also the teachings that, heaven and hell are less than 1/10,000th of an inch apart, right? They're like in nirvana and samsara, right? It's all right here. It's all depends on the way we are experiencing our reality, right? And when you think about God and, in this sort of way, if there is a God, the only way that experience or God would even be present in this world is through our consciousness, right? So consciousness is key, right? And then so to have a higher, more realized level of consciousness would bring the reality of, God into this world, right? So you more a direct experience, an experiential reality. And it's nice to see a Buddhist talking about God and using that word, because we also associate Buddhism with they don't believe in God. Well, if you truly understand, kind of what God is beyond an idea or an abstraction, maybe that's why, some Buddhists really hold to that there is no God, because some religious traditions have a very different view of God as being, personified, having like vengeful, wrathful qualities and jealous in nature, and looking over just a select group of people, and that's the God, but he only cares about a certain people. So that's a limiting view of God. But the unlimited view of God, which would be one source of absolutely everything. And of course, the Buddhists know that, just intellectually you can decipher that there has to be one source of absolutely everything, and that would be God, right? Or
everything is arising from emptiness. That's what they say.
Yeah. From, emptiness, nothingness, the void, whatever word we use. One infinite field of consciousness. Imagine it, just this universe is devoid of absolutely everything, but the ground is consciousness or awareness, and everything is the manifestation of that awareness, right? So, nice. Pretty deep talk for kids. I love it. Right? Planting the seeds at such a young age. Yeah, who knows? Because
and making it like really positive, it's like, I don't know, there are some teachings out there, it's like, that just blow up, I don't know, the goal in a way, and I don't know. Yes, there is a way out of suffering, but then there's also such a big emphasis on the suffering, but just teaching it in that way to children, it's like really, they get like really positive connections to the path, and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
totally.
if they think of God, or like, it's such a, I can't put it in words, sorry, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful teaching. So planting those seeds, and then if they remember, in a time when they do get angry or jealous or mad at their friend or whatever, then they can remember, oh yeah, Thich Nhat Hanh said, mindfulness and, God. And then I really love how he said that, touching on everything, all the objects out there, but also, your brother, the other being, the other fellow, you can see God in him. And then that reminded me at that time of just namaste, right? And what it means the light or the divine, the divinity in me recognizes the divinity and the light within you. So the God in me recognizes the God in you, So, yeah. Wonderful.
It puts me in quite a state.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to watch some more Thich Nhat Hanh videos.
Yeah.
So if you like this video as much as we did, please hit that like button. Remember to subscribe. It really, really helps the channel. Let us know what you think about these teachings down in the comments. And remember, raise yourself
and raise the world. Thank you so much, everyone. And a very special thank you to all our members. We love you.
Peace.